Just the facts, ma'am, said no podcast listener ever. Yet podcasting directories are filled with niched-down podcasters proclaiming their expertise. Is that what your audience truly wants? Hello and welcome to another Podcast Pontifications with me, Evo Terra. I've never been comfortable with the term expert or guru as applied to me in podcasting. Heck, in anything really, if I'm honest about it. And yeah, I suppose in podcasting I do tick all the boxes someone is likely to set forth for an expert or a guru, but I still bristle at the term and always have. Perhaps you feel the same way about your role on your podcast. Well, I have a new way for you to perhaps think about it, if that makes you uncomfortable, or perhaps even if you are totally comfortable. And yes, I'm going to help you think about it in the form of a question. And here it is. Are you an expert, or are you a guide? A better way to ask that question might be, does your audience want you to be an expert? Or do they want you to be a guide? I'm going to give you two unrelated to podcasting examples about what I mean. On our recent trip to Belize, I love Belize, we took a tour up Monkey River to, well, see howler monkeys, hence the name. We also saw a bunch of bats, iguanas, birds, even a little baby crocodile. It was so cute. And our guide was just that. He was a guide. He'd grown up on the river and in the jungle. And guiding people is a large part of what he does every day. Now, what he is not is he's not an expert biologist. He's not a biologist at all. He didn't study biology in college. He didn't get his PhD. But he knows an incredible amount of information about the flora and fauna of a 5 square kilometer area that he grew up in. In fact, he is so much of an expert, if you will, in that area that research scientists, actual experts with PhDs and whatnot, hire him to guide them to various places as they conduct their research. So that makes sense for him, right? I want a guide going up the river. I don't want to hang out with just a scientist. However, I don't want a guide when I go see my neck and shoulder specialist next week to find out whether or not this is a pulled muscle or maybe I've got a bulging disc. No, I've actually selected and specifically sought out a medical doctor, an orthopedist. We're not going on a journey together, right? So something is wrong, and I want to know how to fix it. That's an expert for you. So back to podcasting and what your audience wants from you. While there are instances where the audience does, in fact, want to hear from an expert, chances are, the rest of the time, they want a guide. In many cases, your expertise is going to shine through as you guide them. Sometimes your expertise will shine through more than anything else. Like if you're talking about, tax implications, or educating people on how black holes form, or maybe discussing the history of military coups in Thailand, for example. But a podcast that just lays out facts from experts, or perhaps facts from an expert, is, well, boring. About as boring as reading a research paper or a white paper. So if the bulk of your audience now is made up of other experts who just want you to recite the facts to them, well, then I suppose that's okay. Be an expert all the time. But I'm betting that that's not the case. It's likely that, even if your show is tightly niched down, you have people listening to you that have different levels of skill set and mastery. So if, when you're talking in your expert voice to your audience, you find yourself saying, well, it depends, when answering questions, your next words, chances are, will be in the voice of a guide and not an expert. Because being a guide means that you recognize that there's no one right way to present your ideas on your podcast. Though there certainly may be lots of wrong ways that you have strong opinions about, opinions which you should voice vociferously. Being a guide also means that you recognize you don't have all the answers to share on your podcast. though you probably do know the general direction of answers, or the general directions where those answers are likely to come from. Being a guide also means that you recognize that the role that serendipity and circumstance plays in your podcast listeners' lives. Lives that might look quite different from your own. So reflect back on the last few episodes of your show and the approach you take overall to podcasting. Are you being the know-it-all expert, or are you helping your audience? Is your audience relying on you to be the best guide you can be for them? Now, if you got any value at all out of this episode, please consider returning some of that value by visiting podcastpontifications.com/value for value. There you will find lots of ways, like you can buy me a coffee if you want to, and also links to some new podcast apps, newpodcastapps.com, new podcast apps that will let you stream value to podcasters like me who you listen to. It's a novel way of rewarding podcasters for the excellent content that they produce, and that is a growing way people are actually funding podcasters. So check it out. It's all at podcastpontifications.com/value for value. That's it. I shall be back tomorrow with yet another podcast, Pontifications. Cheers.